Hey everyone, we're back. We saw that you guys had a couple questions for us, so we want to just kind of go through and answer those questions for you guys. I think it's hard to really fully answer all of your questions through a video call, unfortunately, but we'll do our best. So we'll go ahead and check the first one out.
All right, first question. Why do you compare the Book of Mormon with the Holy Bible? There are a number of other revelation/prophetic books that are not compared to the Bible. The answer to this one is quite simple. The Bible is the Old Testament and the New Testament. And I guess the Book of Mormon is another testament of Jesus Christ. They all have the same purpose, which is to testify of Christ. And it's hard to explain other than if you read it, you'll know.
Yeah, and they really are all inspired books of God. They're not just like books about religion and faith that someone wrote, but they're really inspired of God. And they were written under his direction or translated under his direction.
Yeah, so read it and find out. You can get your own testimony of it. All right, question number 2. Could you summarize what the Book of Mormon teaches, resemblances and differences with the Holy Bible? Yeah, I think we can do that.
Yeah, I think really when it comes down to it, the Book of Mormon is really another testament of Jesus Christ. More than anything else, it preaches about Jesus Christ, about his life. There are some specific teachings that are in it that may not be in the Bible, and stories. Just like the New Testament added to the Old Testament, there's more in the Book of Mormon as well. And that includes teachings about the atonement of Jesus Christ, as well as about his plan for us, about God's plan for us. So I think that those are probably some major differences and additions, I guess you could say. I guess that's what the Book of Mormon is bringing more than what the Bible already has. I guess it's what it's adding on.
But like with the first question, the best way to figure out is to read it. And we'd love to send you some passages that we find really interesting. Okay, question number 3. What are the do's and don'ts of your church/motivations to join it? I'll start off with the motivation. This is God's kingdom on the earth, and we don't say that lightly. We believe that God has restored his church, the same church that Jesus Christ built when he was on the earth. For me, that's one of the greatest motivations, as well as the peace and the joy that I've felt learning about Jesus, worshiping, and the changes that I've seen in my life by living the commandments that he's given us and by really putting him first. For me, that's the biggest motivation.
And I'd also add just the blessings that I've seen, not just for myself, but also for my friends, for the people around me. It's really his teachings and his church, and everything that he offers us is really for us as well as our families. It's something for families to help them to grow closer to one another while we grow closer to him.
As for some do's and don'ts, we try and live according to what Jesus Christ taught. So love your neighbor. Keep the 10 Commandments, for example. Keep the Sabbath day holy. Don't drink alcohol or live in a way that's contrary to the commandments, because we know that God's given us those commandments so that we can live a happy life. He wants us to be happy.
And while there are those commandments and there's more specifics we could get into, and we can do that another time with you guys if you would like to call, really it all comes down to the fact that those commandments are for us. We don't live those commandments because God says, like, hey, you do this just because. We live them because God wants for us to be happy. And we know that when we live according to his commandments,